Hello, my friends. Oh, I am freezing. I have a heating problem in the house. I don't have any, so it's really cold. Okay, so I am getting a lot of text messages and people asking how to start training a parrot. That's the first question. And the second question is, if my parrot is older, should I start training him? The answer to that is definitely yes. It doesn't matter what age the parrot is. I have not met a single parrot who would not want to train. I had an issue with Philip when I got him. This baby, this sweet little baby, was a year old. His wings were clipped terribly. He could not fly. He just clumped to the floor. He was scared. The only thing he ate, oh, I can be actually talking to you guys. The only thing Philip ate was some kind of a crazy mix with seeds and dried fruit. And out of all the mix, he would only pick dried papaya. That's all he ate. He had very dry skin. Not because he had dander, but that was another thing. But he had extremely dry skin because he never had any nuts or any kind of oils or any kind of seeds or dry food or pellets or vegetables or fruits or anything, just dried papaya. Because he just picked through the mix and get papaya out of it, and the rest of it was thrown out. So when I got him, I was not able to train him. He would bite so badly that he'd break the skin. You want to come to me? He'd break the skin and we would bleed, and it was really horrible. He was scared of everything, and even though he wanted to have his head scratched, he really wanted that, but he would bite. He would be scared. So it took me about a year to retrain him and to teach him to take any kind of food from my hand, to teach him to eat normal mix, the chopped vegetables and pellets. Pellets he started eating right away. So I would mix vegetable with pellets so he has the familiar taste, and put some nuts in it so he gets taste of it. And he still would not take any food from my hands until probably the couple of weeks right before I had to leave the house and divorce started. So with all that, afterwards, I took Maggie. I already was talking about it, I think. I took Maggie. I had to move from New York to California, and I took Maggie with me. Yeah, my love, you want a piece of nut? I'll give it to you. Your favorite? Oops. So I took Maggie with me to California, to my son's house, because that's where I was staying. But my son, there was no space really for both of the birds. And my ex did not want to take care of Philip. He actually hated him. From the very first day we got him, for some reason he hated him, even though Philip picked, yes, sweetheart, Philip picked him to be his mate, and Maggie was extremely jealous. You want to train, right? He still hated Philip, and all I've heard from him is we need to sell him, we need to get rid of him, and that really broke my heart because I couldn't get rid of him. He's the sweetest little boy. So anyway, 8 months almost he spent at the sitter, on and off, and last several months he was there all the time. He was caged. They couldn't take him out because they were couldn't let him fly. I was terrified that he's not going to remember me, but nevertheless, he remembers me, he remembers everything, even though he didn't eat any vegetables for the longest time. Okay, so how to start training? Actually, I started training him at home, even still in New York, which was 9 months ago, I think, or something. For about 2 weeks, and he still remembered everything that I taught him, and he still eats his favorite walnuts. So how to start training a parrot? Philip already knows this, but we're gonna pretend he doesn't. And the first thing you do is you get a chopstick and a clicker. It's really convenient to hold it this way. So if you wanna like put it on your hand and hold it this way, and the first thing you teach is a target. Target is the most important thing, and you can teach it even if your bird is very aggressive. Just have to make sure that don't aggressively behave towards the stick. Okay, so you put it out for them, fill it. Target. And you wait, and to make sure that all they do, here, Filush. He doesn't want to do this. Okay, Maggie, go here. You got to make sure that they just touch the end of the stick with their beak. They don't take it into their mouth, or they don't grab at it aggressively like they're biting it. It has to be very gentle. And for that, you got to extend the stick to the point where they really stretch. You can bring it closer to them as long as you don't move it away from them. So, okay, Maggie, target. There you go. She just barely touched it with her beak. Fill it. You want to train or what? And she barely touched it with her beak, and she got a reward for it. So you can do it in any direction. Maggie, target. Very good. They're already trained to do this. They know. And this is how you make them move. Maggie, target. Good job, Maggie. And every time you click, you have to reward, of course. And you can do it from the top, where they have to reach. Good job. She's always ready to train. Doesn't matter what she's doing, she loves it. And go, target, and then move it closer, so just barely touching her beak. And that's how you start training. You come in with their favorite treat. And you show them the treat so they know they're gonna get it. You put a stick in front of them and you make them stretch. Good job, Maggie. Until they barely touch it with their beak. Good job. So that's how you start training a parrot. This is the first trick you teach him for the reward. And at this point, they're going to realize that once you click the clicker, that's when they're going to get rewarded. And this is really helpful for the future. For example, some tricks are learned by observation. So let's say, for example, I'll even explain it to you. When she was learning to do an eagle, I could not understand how to teach her to do eagle, like to pick up your wings, without losing my hand, because she was biting really badly. And I was sitting there and observing her, and I noticed that when she stretches, she pick up her wings. Maggie, eagle, орел, eagle. Maggie, орел. Good job. So she picks up her wings, and every time she'd pick up her wings, I'd click, and I'd say an eagle in Russian, of course. She still doesn't really get it in English, in Russian. And that's how she learned to do an eagle. Maggichka, an eagle, орел. Good. And the same thing happened with sounds on command. Maggie, I taught her to bark.